Good evening, Florida, and welcome to Coastal Conservative News, where truth has a backbone and freedom still has a home. I'm Michelle Posey. We're bringing you the bold stories today, guys, the real headlines and the voices that matter most, right here from the heart of the free state of Florida. From Tallahassee to the Sun Coast, we're tracking the political shifts, community victories, and constitutional battles shaping the future of our state and, of course, our nation. So buckle up, guys. It's time to get informed, get fired up, and get involved. This is CCN Coastal Conservative News. All right, let's kick things off with your week in review. Our first story, a chilling reminder that crime doesn't care about gated addresses. Westview residents in Miami-Dade, a well-guarded community, awoke to surveillance video showing a hooded burglar rifling through vehicles, stealing cash, credit cards, and identity documents. The victim, Lucas Jacques, reported $700 in cash gone, over half a dozen credit cards, and his driver's license. He said, quote, "We are living in a community that's guarded and secure." Yet this thief struck at about 4 a.m., targeting unlocked cars and then using stolen cards at a Home Depot in Hialeah and a nearby restaurant. Now, this community of roughly 700 homes isn't immune to these dangers. We can't call police for every driveway, but Floridians deserve safety where they live. Law enforcement is urging vigilance, reminding homeowners gates don't equal safety. Locking your car, removing valuables, even in secure neighborhoods, must be part of the routine. It's a lesson that hits home. Community security begins with individual responsibility. Lock your doors and report suspicious activity immediately. Don't forget, guys, to install cameras and activate alarms as well. We're going to pivot here to sports. In sports, Florida State Seminoles shocked the nation with a statement win over number 8 Alabama, a game that drew over 12 million viewers and didn't go unnoticed. Quarterback Tommy Castellanos and lineman Luke Pettibon took national honors, yet joy turned to worry when freshman Ethan Pritchard was critically injured after being shot post-game while simply helping his family. Ethan is in critical but stable condition right now. Authorities now say 4 individuals have been arrested in connection with the shooting, which occurred August 31st outside his aunt's home in Havana, Florida. It appears to have been a case of mistaken identity. Jaden Bodison, Karen Miller, a juvenile, and Germany Atkins face charges, including attempted murder and shooting into an occupied vehicle. Keep it locked here on CCN. We'll keep you updated with the latest. Pritchard was dropping off family members at an apartment complex when shots rang out. It's a senseless act of violence like what we're seeing here throughout this week that rocked Seminole Nation and Florida. The response has been one of unity and prayer. Players honored Ethan by wearing his number 35 jersey, and his father attended the game, showing strength and solidarity. The community's rally behind him remains strong, with hope and prayers going his way. A powerful contrast between victory and vigilance. Going on to the positive side, Florida's economic engine keeps roaring. Unemployment claims dropped again last week, signaling continued strength in the job market. Small business openings are up, especially in North and Central Florida. Meanwhile, community and cultural life are thriving. Gainesville's Blues Showcase and gallery exhibits are drawing crowds, huge crowds, and the fall event calendar is fuller than ever. I can't wait for the temperature to drop and get outdoors to some of these events. For more information on those events, visit GainesvilleFineArts.org. Over in Gainesville, local leaders passed a tentative budget for the 2026 year, including a property tax increase, generating $9.4 million more dollars than levied in property taxes this fiscal year. Critics worry about rising costs, and rightfully so. Meanwhile, Alachua County moved forward with a scenic development project near San Falasco, and schools adopted a $604 million budget with a 6.2 millage rate. Also, a rabies alert was issued in Alachua County after a confirmed stray cat case, which underscores the importance of rural health readiness. Floridians are working to balance development, education, and well-being, and getting real results. And that's it for your week right here in Week in Review. Keep it locked here to CCN for all the latest.
Hi. Hello, how are you? We are here to get an IV.
An IV. I heard you have an IV room?
Yeah, absolutely. You just head right back this way.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Knock, knock. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
I'm Sarah. How are
Sarah,
you?
this is
Hi,
Allie.
Allie. Nice
Hi,
to see you.
Nice to see you too. How can I help you?
We're stressed. We're
Yeah.
moms. We've got multitasking going on. I feel like I fall victim to like a brain fog a little bit. I don't know if that's my age or whatnot.
You need a little bit of clarity, a little bit of energy.
Yep.
Is
Right?
there of an IV that you would recommend for that?
Of course. Come in, have a seat.
Thank you.
We call this the brainstorm.
The brainstorm.
The brainstorm.
Come visit We the People Health and Wellness Center.
Where medical freedom exists.
All right. Now here is Raj Doraisamy with our Suncoast Community segment.
Hello, my friends. Today is September 11, 2025. At the time we're recording this interview, less than 24 hours ago, an atrocity was committed with Charlie Kirk. But people are not going to let that go unanswered. Already, there has been, even prior to yesterday, movement in the state of Florida as Florida leads the way to bring freedom, both with our speech, with our elections, and with our health, to the main stage of the world's conversation. And I'm referring to the historic announcement that Dr. Joseph Ladapo, the Surgeon General of the state of Florida, had made just a few days ago, where mandates on vaccines have been banned. He also is now receiving death threats from the same criminals that were like the people that committed yesterday's atrocities. But my friends, it is time to step forward, increase the volume of our voices, increase the commitment and the determination that we have to rescue our republic. And to that end, we have an epic event taking place on October 2nd, literally just a few weeks away. And this is a very, very important event because it represents a forward motion, a powerful forward motion where the voices of the American people can and will be heard to mitigate and counter a few loud and lethal people that are trying to destroy our nation. So to talk about this event and all of the benefits and excitement and powerful conversations, resources, and tools that will be present at that event, I'm so delighted to have with me none other than health activist Susan Sweeten on the call with me. How are you, Susan?
I think it's funny that every time we talk, my title of who I am changes. I just want to say, Raj, thank you for mentioning Charlie Kirk. I want to put his mother, his father, obviously his wife and his two kids in our prayers this morning as the manhunt is still out for who committed this. I am, as a mom, I can only imagine the pain that Erica's going through. So I want to pray for his family and our nation. That said, I don't think that Charlie would want us to go back into the shadows and not meet. There's been a lot of news reports about should we not have gatherings and open air events. I think that, everyone has concerns about what's happening in our country, but this is not the time to go silent and shudder away. That is not living up to his message of meeting, debating ideas, and what he was saying in the epicenter of places of tyrannical thought process in the college campuses. So on that note, I will say we are going to have extra security at our October event, but the name of that event, I think, dovetails so nicely into what Charlie would want. It starts with the 3 C's: courage and censorship. And the last part of this conversation is about cancer. So this event is, I think, more important than ever to be there, to hear from our very brave providers, each in their own right. Each one of them are bringing information to this main stage about, everything, not just cancer, but I would say everything that revolves around your health prior, pre, and during if you are struck with cancer. So it's important from an immunity standpoint, your immune system. All of these doctors are coming over from what I call Canada, except for Dr. Vila, obviously. She's over in the villages, but they're all seeing great results in some of the treatments and protocols they're using. I'm using my words carefully, Raj, because some of those, you can't say certain things. You can't say the other C, but we can say cancer and treatment and preventions, and lending support and education in those worlds. But I'm honored to say that Dr. Ladapo will be at that event, in the midst of all the gunslinging and rocks throwing and name calling. He is standing up with those of us in Florida that understand we should have a right to choose what goes into our body, into our children's body. All medical risk taking should come with a choice, not coercion. So I'm honored to give him the Florida welcome on October 2nd, and I hope you all will join us.
Yeah, this event is important on many fronts. So as Susan just mentioned a few minutes ago, we will have Dr. Joseph Ladapo, and for those of you that are watching this from outside the state of Florida, this is a gentleman that made that historic announcement banning vaccine mandates in the state of Florida. And my friends, this is going to spread to other states. I'm right now in the state of Rhode Island, and other states outside of Florida are looking at what Florida is doing, eager to have Florida provide that leadership. Now, all of this only works with your participation. And what do I mean by that? We have got to have this event just pack out. There is so much value in this event taking place here. You can see this right here.
Really quickly, Raj, I just want to say tickets are selling fast, you guys, because obviously everyone wants a moment with the Surgeon General, in addition to Dr. William Mackis and Dr. Tirozzi. Both excellent doctors have stories to tell about the COVID scenarios, the turbo cancers. I'm saying some buzzwords. I hope that doesn't ding us, Raj. But in addition to all that, Brianna Ladapo has some insight to what it's like to become a mother in the midst of this chaos, to a man that's standing up for freedom. So there's aspects that we're all going to talk about that impact us all, from the legislation that's running through the next session that Dr. Ladapo is supporting, and able to give a nod to, from the naturopathic bills to the mandate rollback, to parental rights, patient rights, integrity of voters. I'm with our State Attorney General here in Miami this week. So we're talking about AI in the classrooms and social media. So there's a lot to be said at an event that we gather right before our session kicks off. And we're in a sprint. So I just want to say we have to stay active even in the midst of tragedy. We also have to stay vigilant and prayerful, and we're going to be safe. We are going to have all the security measures needed. But the tickets are selling out fast. We expect 900 people at this event. I hope to see all of you there. It is a low ticket price. It is amazing for those of you to get to know other like-minded people, find support, especially with those struggling with cancer. It starts at 5 p.m., but the good news is that there is a meet and greet for those, and I'm keeping it intimate because we don't want it overwhelmed. So if you want to do the meet and greet, that's from 4 to 5. And we ask vendors, tabling, exhibitors, whether you have something that you want to share with the community by way of a supplement or a book, to information like Raj's organization, Defend Florida, where you can come and learn how you can get active. Is it making phone calls? Is it door knocking? Is it spreading the word by mailing out information or posting on your social? Or is it taking a bus trip up to Tallahassee? This is how we stay the course that so many like Charlie and those of us in this movement have put forward. But we have to show up and we have to get together. And so that's what this event is about. I think it's going to be much needed and at a much needed time.
So well said. So my friends, call to action. First, you can see the website down here, freedomhealthhive.com, freedomhealthhive.com. You can see it. Go there right now. Stop the video. Go right now. Get your tickets now. How is this event being put together? I'll tell you how this event is put together. You have organizations like We the People Healthcare.com, the leader in a comprehensive suite of services to help people. They're not just stuck on the pharmaceutical train. Comprehensive with medical doctors, registered nurses. Make sure you check them out. Also, Freedom Health Connect. These are the organizations that are bringing this event to you. So very, very important, my friends, that you participate. Now, why would you want to come? You've already heard it from Susan Sweeten, and here you go. Number one, you're going to hear doctors talk about the C word, cancer, and importantly, how to mitigate that. And your doctor likely is not sharing with you what you're going to hear there. So that's number one. Number two, there are people in your life that are dealing with cancer. Get them to this event. These sponsors have subsidized the cost, so it's almost pretty much peanuts to attend this event. So you got to do that. Number three, we need you to ratify what is happening in the state of Florida. The governor and the Surgeon General have started the process with banning vaccine mandates. This now has to be turned into legislation that will outlive both the governor and the Surgeon General's term of service. That's where you come in. I cannot tell you the opposition funded by Big Pharma here in Florida that's going to try to shut this down. And the only way we can get this done is with your help. You can either show up, you can either speak to officials, you can either petition. How to do all of that will be unpacked for you at this event. Everything's going to be available to you at this event. So make sure you show up. If you're a vendor, organizer, very, very few exhibitor tables available, very, very few. So contact that website right now. Defend Florida will be there. Reclaim Campaign will be there. A number of other organizations will be there. For those of you who are at the historic Reclaim Campaign statewide conference, we need you to show up and bring 5 people with you. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So go to freedomhealthhive.com to make sure you get your ticket. Do it now. And I'm going to ask Susan to wrap this up. This is a historic event. And with yesterday's event, Charlie Kirk's brutal assassination, this demonstrates why we, the people, have got to step up. We have to. We've got to change the culture. Susan, wrap it up for us.
Well, I want to start by putting Charlie back in our prayers and our thoughts and our minds. So, dear Heavenly Father, I lift up Charlie, his family, his children, and his extended staff and team, and everyone that worked around him. The country at large is in need and needs healing. I pray that you put that upon us with your love and Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I look forward to seeing everyone on October 2nd, where we can keep the mission focused and forward thinking. And together, again, October 2nd, let's encourage all of us to have a conversation, uncensored, with courage, talking about cancer, talking about our freedoms, talking about our health of our nation, of our great state of Florida, as we honor Dr. Ladapo's courage for standing up for our inalienable rights. I hope to see you then.
Thank you, Susan. Guys, stop the video right now. Go to freedomhealthhive.com. Freedomhealthhive.com. You can see the URL right there. It's also posted in the comments here. So please make sure you get there. We will see you in a few weeks. Susan, thank you so much for being with me today. Have a great rest of the day. Can't wait to see you back in Venice.
Thank you, Raj, for bringing us such an important discussion on taking back culture. We've seen it this week, even in as the nation mourns Charlie Kirk. We hope to see everyone at the event on October 2nd with our Surgeon General, Dr. Ladapo. Next up, guys, keep it here for Political Pulse right here on CCN. Welcome to Political Pulse. This week, we've got big stories that matter. Accountability for voters and voter integrity, medical freedom, crime busts, and more. Florida isn't waiting, it's leading. So let's jump right in. First up, More news with Attorney General Uthmeier. He keeps winning. He is calling our state attorney Monique Worrell over her decision to prosecute Tina Algeo in a fatal road rage case. Algeo is charged with second-degree murder in the December 2024 shooting in Mihail Savatsky in Orlando. Take a look at this from Fox 35.
Now, I want to talk about what's developing this morning. This woman right here is facing murder charges for a road rage attack, and now she is getting the chance to head home. An Orange County judge granting Tina Algeo bond. As a matter of fact, Fox 35's Matt Trezza is live outside of the jail this morning where she is. Matt, good morning to you. We do know that Algeo's bond was posted since last night.
Yes, that's correct, but she hasn't left the building just yet. We're standing outside the main doors of the Orange County Jail waiting for that moment, and hopefully we'll get to hear from her and ask her some questions on the way out. But let me kind of recap you on where things have gotten to this point. So the most recent thing that we've learned is new videos that we've seen in court of the day that Algeo allegedly shot and killed Mikhail Svetkov. Now, on the video, you can see, and this happened back in December, you can see Svetkov's car on Colonial Drive in Orlando, and she's taking pictures of it after she claimed that Svetkov bumped into her. Now, detectives testified that data pulled from the car didn't show that she was hit. Witness video later appears to show Algeo in a white car steer toward the left and hit Svetkov's car. Prosecutors said she was the aggressor. Now, in court, attorneys watched as surveillance video showed the buildup to the shooting. Svetkov seen getting out of his car and walking to her door. Police say he punched her, and then she pulled out a gun and shot him. Algeo is facing second-degree murder charges.
After Mr. Svetkov left their initial encounter, she pursued him, struck his vehicle with hers, which prohibits Ms. Algeo from using self-defense as a claim if she's in the commission.
Both of them could have acted better to begin with, including my client. But when it came down to it, with what really counts is he was pummeling her, he was beating her up, creating her fear of great bodily injury, which is exactly what the statute says, and she's allowed to respond.
Now, we got a statement from Svetkov's sister, which reads in part, quote, "The decision to grant bond to my brother's killer is deeply disappointing and frankly heartbreaking. We continue to mourn the loss of our beloved Mikhail, and this decision feels like a setback in our pursuit of justice." Again, we are standing by live outside the Orange County Jail, and when we get more, or when she walks out, we will bring that to you, and we will get that video. But for now, we're live in Orlando. Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Now, Uthmeier argues that Algeo's actions fall under Florida's stand your ground law. He said, quote, "Monique Worrell may not like Florida's stand your ground laws, but those laws reflect our God-given right to self-defense. In the case of Tina Algeo, State Attorney Worrell should reconsider her prosecution." That's straight from Attorney General Uthmeier. Worrell pushed back, of course, saying prosecutors have discretion and that the gravity of the situation demands thorough evaluation. But Uthmeier is pushing for accountability and clarity, insisting that Florida's laws are applied fairly and consistently. Take a look at this statement.
This is Attorney General James Uthmeier. This morning, our office is again putting Orlando's State Attorney Monique Worrell on notice. You got it wrong in a recent case. You acted in error. State Attorney Worrell, who historically has not prosecuted a lot of cases she should have, did so here in a case against a woman who justifiably engaged in self-defense, who justifiably stood her ground. Late last year, Tina Algeo was driving her car when she engaged in a road rage spat. But unlike many road rage incidents, this one ended in violence. The gentleman in the other vehicle, the offender, he got out of his car. He went over and approached Tina's unmoving vehicle, ripped open the door, violently attacked her, hit her, and tried to drag her out of her vehicle. It was at this point that Tina grabbed a lawfully owned firearm and engaged in deadly force. She was being attacked in a confined space, her own car. Under Florida law, she justifiably stood her ground and acted in self-defense. So we're calling on State Attorney Worrell, fix this. Right this wrong. Here in the AG's office, we will stand strong for people that rightly engage in self-defense. Thank you.
In other news, Governor DeSantis continues his push to remove vaccine mandates in Florida. The state is reinforcing the position that medical decisions are private, not mandated by the government. Take a look at this post.
But what happens now, and then the CDC under Biden, they added the COVID mRNA shot to the childhood immunization schedule. The problem with that is that there was not a scientific basis to do that. They're doing it, and they're telling, and parents have rebelled. The vast majority of parents do not do the COVID shot for that. So it's like, where are they coming up with this? So I think the trust has really been broken. But what really bugs me, because I think the schools, there's exemptions, and so I actually don't think the outcome would be much different at all. But I think on some of these other things where you can be turned away from a doctor's office if your 6-year-old didn't take a hepatitis B shot, that's a sexually transmitted disease. Like, look, sitting in a classroom in kindergarten, I think the chance of contracting Hep B is probably pretty low based on how it's contracted. And so a lot of parents are like, that may not be what we want, but then you're going to be denied to be able to see. They have places, and I don't think it's going on in Florida, but we need protections against this, where they have denied people surgeries because they didn't have a flu shot, or they didn't have COVID jab, or they didn't have Hep B and some of this stuff. And that's really weaponizing this against people, imposing bad consequences on them just because the parent may have made a decision on one of those things. And I think that's pretty much where people are at. But the conflation of, if you don't force somebody to do something and impose penalties on them, then therefore they're not permitted to do it. No, of course they're permitted to do it. And I saw a lot of stuff over there. The Surgeon General of Florida is taking away vaccine. He never said anything. He never said that there wouldn't be any availability. Obviously, that's not his position. But I think his position is that if you provide information and persuasion, that's better than coercion. And here's the deal. You see a lot of back and forth up in Washington about CDC and everything. We just have to acknowledge that it was a catastrophic failure during COVID. And I'd say our Surgeon General, who feels very strongly about this, in March of 2020, Joe Latipo said we shouldn't do lockdowns. He was pilloried for saying that. Very few people were willing to say that. He said you shouldn't be forcing young school children to wear masks shortly thereafter that. He was pilloried for saying that. He said that schools needed to be open for in-person instruction when Florida did it. He was supportive of that. He was pilloried for that.
And videos circulating show DeSantis rejecting proposals to reinstate mandates, saying they infringe on personal liberty. His administration remains steadfast. No COVID vaccine mandates in schools, public or private employment, and he's protecting medical freedom. Floridians who value freedom of choice will see this as another win. But as always, critics warn of health risks. In the balance are civil liberties versus public health, and Florida is leaning decisively towards liberty. Listen, if you give up liberty because you're fearful, you're going to live in fear forever in perpetuity, and probably in some kind of a prison, because liberty is the only reason we have a free nation. We understand that here in Florida, obviously. On the international front, guys, I want to pivot to the G20 summit. It convened in Miami this week, bringing together leaders from 19 countries, plus the European Union, to tackle global economic challenges. Take a look at this White House video.
I'm thrilled to announce that the 2026 G20 conference will be held in one of our country's greatest cities, beautiful Miami, Florida, where we have the mayor with us.
It puts the city on the map as one of the truly great global cities.
It will be a concentrated group in Miami, seeing the best America has to offer with American leadership, thanks to President Trump.
I think this G20 meeting, where the world leaders will come to the great city of Miami, is going to be viewed as one of the most important meetings in global history.
We're also looking forward to having this as a showcase of American strength, vision, innovation, and power under your bold leadership, Mr. President. It is going to be the G20 in the Trumpian golden age.
Now, in his remarks, President Donald Trump emphasized the need for secure supply chains, fair trade, and fighting inflation. Florida, as host, was in the spotlight, of course, showing once again that we're not just a swing state. Well, let's be honest, we're not a swing state any longer. We're a stage front and center for the nation to watch. Moving on to big legal news, a federal appeals court has upheld Florida's law HB 1205, which bans non-U.S. citizens and non-Florida residents from gathering signatures for constitutional amendment ballot initiatives. This is huge. And if you notice, I think it was when we had Amendment 4 on the ballot, the abortion amendment, a lot of that was generated outside of Florida, so that's why this is so important. The court overruled a lower court's injunction and said Florida has a substantial interest in preventing fraud and preserving election integrity. Now, the ruling, guys, was 2-1 with a dissent from Judge Nancy Abudu. She claimed the law disguises, I'm quoting here, disguises discrimination against non-citizens, end quote. Well, you also shouldn't be able to legislate from the bench. Moving on, though, to more news about Attorney General Uthmeier. Uthmeier celebrated the ruling, saying, "Neither Californians nor Colombians have a right to collect petitions from Floridians who wish to change the Florida Constitution." I love this. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals agreed and put a stop to a district court that tried to legislate from the bench. Big win for our Constitution, guys. All right, Florida paused, guys, as well as you did probably in your homes this week after a tragic event. Charlie Kirk was assassinated while speaking at a Utah university on September 10th. Now, at a press conference, Governor DeSantis stopped mid-remarks to offer a prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. He then ordered state flags lowered to half-staff, pursuant to Donald Trump's directions federally. Take a look at this post.
Comment on the shooting in Utah involving Charlie Kirk. A lot of people in Florida have known Charlie through the years. Casey and I have gotten to know him for over a decade, and he's somebody that a lot of people have a great regard for. He's done a lot, and he was shot apparently in a targeted way. And so we're praying for him and his family, but I think we also have to reflect on the fact that the way to resolve political disputes is not through violence, and we see increasing levels of political violence in this country. Charlie would go to college campuses and he would articulate views that were very much outside of what most of the professors were offering or what the campus culture was offering. And the way to do that is to ask questions, debate. That's what the Republic is based on. And what happened today, was not just an attack on Charlie personally, but really an attack on the idea that we resolve these things through reasoned debate and elections. And so Casey and I are praying for him and his family, and this is not what we want for our country going forward.
Moving to education, Commissioner Stasi Kamoutsas responded likewise, issuing a memo to all Florida teachers, reminding them of professional conduct, especially after several teachers reportedly went on social media celebrating the tragedy. Some fired, rightfully so. The message? Florida holds its educators to a higher standard. Take a look at this message. In crime and order news, the Tampa FBI conducted a raid that led to the arrest of 9 members of a violent gang known as the Hood Boys, connected to the Sinaloa cartel. These gang members are accused of serious offenses, including shootings, drug trafficking, and extortion. This action sends a message loud and clear. Florida law enforcement is stepping up, not passively allowing cartel influence to spread inland. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier is also demanding action after former state senator Linda Stewart posted on social media about ICE agents operating in public transit in Orlando. Uthmeier claims Stewart's post warning about ICE activity at the Lynx Central Station downtown amounts to basically doxing, accusing her of harassing law enforcement to prevent them from doing their jobs. Seriously, our ICE agents and our men and women in blue, their jobs are difficult enough without exposing the jobs that they're doing, that they're supposed to be doing for you and I. He's now calling on Monique Worrell, that same state's attorney, for Florida's 9th Judicial Court to investigate. Take a look at this. Linda Stewart harassing law enforcement to prevent them from doing their jobs is unlawful in Florida. I'm calling on the state's attorney for the Ninth Circuit Court, Monique Worrell, to investigate. Stop playing politics with the lives and safety of law enforcement officers. Here's her ex-post so you can see for yourself. Stewart has defended herself, saying she did nothing illegal and that free speech protections would cover her posts. She insists she did not threaten any officers or reveal any specific or private information. This case highlights a growing issue in Florida, the intersection between public safety, law enforcement rights, and social media. State leaders have increasingly pushed to protect ICE agents from online threats and doxing. And Uthmeier's stance is clear, guys. Accountability is required when speech may cross into harassment or interference. The Ninth Judicial Circuit has responded that they will review any complaint brought before them in accordance with criminal case procedures. There has been no formal charge filed yet, guys. For Floridians, the bigger question becomes, at what point does warning people or calling for awareness cross into undermining law enforcement's ability to do their job? And what legal boundaries exist for public figures going forward? This is going to be really crucial as we go into the political season in 2026. Where does your right to privacy, where's that line really drawn? And finally, a bit of good news for your wallet. Florida is gearing up for its sales tax holiday, a relief period for families before the holiday shopping rush. Make sure to check the dates and qualifying items when the details drop. They'll be dropping soon. But this is classic Florida policy, tax relief when people need it the most. We'll keep it updated here on CCN for you as well. This week, Florida showed what leadership looks like, standing firm on law, protecting liberty, defending the Constitution, and making real moves against crime. We saw accountability for public officials, serious protections for ballot integrity, compassionate leadership in tragedy, and support for families through tax relief. That is Florida first.
They've censored the truth, manipulated the narrative, and told you to sit down and shut up.
But not here, not on our mic.
Open Mic with Ali and Michelle is the podcast where free speech lives, patriotism thrives, and the truth doesn't whisper, it roars.
That's right. We break down the stories the media buries, the policies that threaten your freedom, and the culture chaos Gen Z is waking up to literally every day.
From whistleblower exposés and global conflicts to the spiritual war on masculinity, we don't just talk about it, we say what they won't.
That's right. If you're tired of soft takes, scripted spin, and really plastic politics, it's time to tune in and turn up.
Because this mic is always open.
And now we will go to Kevin for this week's Faith in Focus.
Welcome back to Faith in Focus. Today we're diving into an inspiring topic. Scientists who began their careers as atheists but found their way to Christianity through the very science they studied. Specifically, we'll highlight the remarkable story of a Chinese scientist whose encounter with the complexity of the human eye led him to faith, and we'll unpack the concept of irreducible complexity, a scientific idea that sparked profound spiritual reflection. Science and faith are often pitted against each other, but for some scientists, their discoveries become a bridge to belief. One such story is that of Dr. Ming Wang, a world-renowned ophthalmologist and a laser physicist who grew up in China during the Cultural Revolution. Raised in an atheist household, Dr. Wang has steeped in a worldview that saw science as the ultimate explanation for life's mysteries. But during his medical training at Harvard and MIT, something shifted. Dr. Wang began studying the human eye in detail, and what he found left him awestruck. The eye, he discovered, is a marvel of biological engineering with over 40 distinct components and countless intricate processes working in harmony. He was particularly struck by the retina, which contains billions of specialized cells like photoreceptors that convert light into electrical signals for the brain. Dr. Wang noted that even if a single one of these cells is misaligned or defective, it could result in blindness from birth. He described the number of neurons in the brain, which process visual information, as exceeding the number of stars in the known universe. The mathematical odds of such a system assembling randomly through unguided processes, he concluded, were staggeringly improbable. In an interview with the Daily News Journal, Dr. Wong shared that this realization sparked a crisis in his scientific worldview. He said, quote, "I was very confident science was able to explain all major problems until I began to study in detail medicine," end quote. A pivotal moment came during a conversation with a Christian physician who challenged him. If metal couldn't randomly assemble into a car, how could something as complex as the human eye form by chance? That question became Dr. Wong's aha moment, leading him to explore Christianity and ultimately embrace the faith. Today he shares his journey from atheism to faith, crediting the eye's complexity as a signpost to a purposeful, intelligent design. Dr. Wong's story isn't unique. Other scientists, like Dr. Francis Collins, former director of the Human Genome Project, and Dr. James Tour, a chemist at Rice University, also moved from skepticism to faith through their scientific work. Collins, for instance, found the elegance of DNA's code pointed to a purposeful intelligence, while Tour's research into molecular self-assembly led him to question purely materialistic explanations for life's origins. These stories highlight a recurring theme. The deeper scientists delve into the intricacies of nature, the more they encounter what some call signs of design. This brings us to a concept central to many of these conversations: irreducible complexity. Coined by biochemist Michael Behe in his book Darwin's Black Box, irreducible complexity refers to biological systems that require multiple interdependent parts to function. If you remove one part, and the whole system collapses, just like a mousetrap missing a spring or its hammer. Behe argues that systems like the human eye, the bacterial flagellum, or the blood-clotting cascade are so intricately designed that they couldn't have evolved through gradual step-by-step changes, as each intermediate stage would be non-functional. Take the eye, for example. It's not just the retina's billions of cells, but the precise coordination of the lens, cornea, iris, and the optic nerve, all working together to produce vision. Creations point out that for the eye to function, all these components must be present and perfectly aligned. If one part, like the optic nerve, were missing or misconfigured, the system wouldn't work, offering no survival benefit for natural selection to act upon. This challenges the idea that the eye could have evolved through small incremental steps. Now, critics of irreducible complexity like Dr. Eugenie Scott argue that different types of eyes in nature, from simple light-sensitive spots in mollusks to complex vertebrate eyes, show a range of complexity that suggests an evolutionary pathway. They claim these variations debunk the idea that the eye couldn't have evolved, but proponents of intelligent design counter that even simpler eyes require multiple interdependent parts, and the leap from a light-sensitive patch to a fully formed eye involves gaps that random mutations struggle to explain. What's fascinating is how irreducible complexity doesn't just challenge scientific assumptions, it stirs the soul. For Dr. Wong, the eye's design wasn't just a puzzle, it was a revelation. He saw in its precision what the Bible describes in Psalm 139:14, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." This echoes the design argument found in Romans 1:20, which says, "God's invisible attributes are clearly seen in creation, leaving us without excuse to recognize a purposeful, intelligent design." Dr. Wong, the journey from atheism to Christianity wasn't about abandoning reason, but embracing a bigger picture, one where science and faith converge to reveal a universe infused with purpose. Their stories remind us that the more we learn about the world, the more we're invited to ask, is this complexity the product of chance or work of a masterful designer? That's all for today's Faith in Focus. Thank you for joining me, and if Dr. Wong's story or the idea of irreducible complexity resonates with you, let us know your thoughts on our website or social media. Join us next time as we explore more ways faith and reason illuminate each other. Until then, keep seeking truth, and may your focus always be on faith. God bless.
Thank you, Kevin, for pointing out that scientists are finding God through their work. It's actually pretty incredible. Thank you for keeping our faith front and center as always. Guys, for Coastal Conservative News, I'm Michelle Posey. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Make sure you set your reminders. Have a great weekend.